You guys know I love my coffee, and Lord knows coffee keeps me going all day long. Well, good morning, friends, and welcome to another edition of Don't Sleep on the Dallas Cowboys, because you literally cannot sleep on the Dallas Cowboys because things always seem to happen late at night, middle of the night, and so on. So you want to make sure you know exactly what's going on with the Dallas Cowboys. But fortunately for us, right now, everybody's hunkered down. Everybody's getting their final draft boards and stuff together, and they're getting ready for the big event in Dallas, as well as us. You know, today we're going out to check out the RV. I think we're going to do a little taste test to see how hot this stuff is before we actually go on the road. So be looking for seeing how Michael and stuff reacts to it. But one of the things I've been thinking about, when we deal with the whole Dez Bryant, whether he's going to make a difference on the team, if the team has screwed themselves by not having him, should they draft Calvin Ridley, who was seen wearing cowboy shorts working out yesterday? Do they go for a first-round wide receiver? It's been my contention that football evolves. I mean, football is truly a game about, can I beat the man in front of me? Because that's the bottom line, what matters. Can the center beat the nose tackle? Can the guard get to the second level to the linebacker? Can the tackle take on that defensive end? If you win the individual battles, football is still all the same. But it evolves from thing to thing. For a few years ago, everything was just lighting it up. You know, everybody, it was the deep ball, because the NFL had changed the rules as far as illegal contact. So, you know, if you're throwing the ball deep, generally speaking, you're going to have one of three things happen. You're going to complete a big pass that's going to be a big play. 2, your quarterback's going to get touched and you're going to get a 15-yard penalty. Or 3, you're going to get an illegal contact, 5 yards, and a first down. So it threw everything into the passing game. It evolved, and all of a sudden, boom, everybody was lighting it up. Running backs became less valuable. You can get a running back in the 6th round. Well, the Cowboys kind of changed that because they kind of went old school. Because defenses were trying to keep up with the pass-happy offenses, defensive linemen got smaller. They got quicker. Well, the Cowboys kind of became the Neanderthals, you know, with the Tyron Smiths, with the Travis Frederick, you know, the Zach Martin. They were old school ground and pound, and they'd take those 260 and 270 tackles and ends that were fast, and they would maul them and wear them down. And that's where we're kind of re-evolving again with the big offensive lines. Guards are now getting as important as your tackles. You're seeing how they're getting paid like they've never been paid before. Guards used to be an afterthought. Well, the same thing has happened with tight end. Jason Witten wasn't the first, but he was one of the first in the modern era, I will say, to really evolve the tight end position, to be the blocker, pass reception guy. You know, he could get deep and things like that, sure hands. He was a multi-tool guy. Well, that evolution has gone all the way to Gronk and Zach Ertz and those guys, where those guys literally lead the team in receptions. It's not the wide receiver. And part of my argument of saying that spending the $16 million on Dez in a position where you look at across the board, the leading wide receivers aren't getting the rings. Be it your Antonio Browns, the Steelers haven't been back to the Super Bowl since they got Antonio Brown. Julio Jones was in the Super Bowl, but you can say that because they were pass happy, as opposed to running the ball late in the game on first down in field goal territory and chewing up the clock, they chose to pass, get sacked, get out of field goal range, and give the ball back to the Patriots. The Patriots go downfield, tie it up, win in overtime. You could go back through your Megatrons. Yeah, well, they had Megatron and still went 0-16. You can look at your Larry Fitzgeralds. He played in the Super Bowl, but at his peak, they weren't winning Super Bowls. So in my mind, Wide receivers are important. You need a guy to stretch the field to loosen up the defense, but you're not going to necessarily win because of the wide receiver. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate mail and people are going to tell me an idiot, but then again, I always get that, so it doesn't matter. But Jason Witten, Father Time. There's a curse, I believe, of Jason Witten. I remember, I got this, 2007. We went down to, is it Elizabethton or Littleton, Tennessee? His whole family runs a football camp. And we were down there doing a United Way commercial spot for him. 2007, 11 years ago. Michael was there. Michael was young. He actually went through the whole camp and everything else. Tony Romo was there. Terrence Newman, another old guy, was there. And it was a great event. Jason Witten has had a hell of a career. You're talking about a guy who missed one game in his whole career because his jaw was broken. You're talking about a guy who ran down the field without a helmet. And then they changed the rule saying that once your helmet comes off, the play's over. He has been incredible. But for whatever reason, the Cowboys have tried to replace him forever, but it never seems to work. It's like we're cursed. And it's not like we've used just 6-round draft picks for him. We've drafted tight ends 3 times in the second rounds. Another one of those reasons why maybe a trade for Earl Thomas using a second-round pick makes sense, because for some reason we do not have a lot of staying power with second-round picks. Hopefully Jalen Smith is the exception to that rule. But honestly, these are the guys that Jason Witten has outlived. Sean Ryan, 5th-round pick, 2004. Anthony Fasano, 2006, second-round draft pick. That was Bill Parcells' type of guy. Bill Parcells thought he was going to be the next Mark Bavaro. But yeah, that didn't work out too good. Marty B, well, he's got himself a ring or two. He's been good where he's gone, been a bit of a distraction, but couldn't get on the field when he was here with Jason Witten, and they didn't coexist very well. John Phillips, 6th-round pick, 2009. James Hanna, who knee issues, just retired, or reserve retired list this past week. And a second round on Gavin Escobar in 2013. Yeah, that's it. That's the list. All of those guys, Jason Witten has outlived in his career. Like I said, is it a curse of Jason Witten? I don't know, but for whatever reason, we just can't get another tight end. I don't want to lose Jason Witten. Jason Witten has a wealth of knowledge. But clearly, when you get older, you've got to play the right amount of minutes. And you have to also look at the production where his receptions went down a yard per completion. Now, that's not all necessarily on him. A lot of that's the offense that got bogged down because you didn't have Zeke Elliott, because you had offensive line problems. You had Dak Prescott, who had, issues as well. The whole team took a step back. I mean, Zeke Elliott rushing went down a yard per carry. So, in general, everything went bad. But I believe that with the evolution of the offenses, tight end is key. Now, I've got a lot of hope for Rico Gathers. He's listed at 6'6", but I think he's 6'8", because he literally towers over people. I love his stride, because unlike your typical tall guy, when they run, they kind of look like they just kind of don't have a fluid motion. It looks painful watching him. But when you see Rico Gathers, he looks like a sprinter. He is so fluid. His leaping ability is incredible. But the question you have to ask is, okay, are we banking on a guy who has not played in a regular season game? Played great 2 preseason games last year until he got the concussion. And was it the Cowboys were just kind of redshirting him and saying, oh, he's got concussion issues because they're waiting till now and they want to make sure they didn't lose him, because there was interest in him? I don't know, and I can't answer that one. But I believe that tight end is a position that you're going to have to look for in the draft. I know Vosh thinks, oh, no, I'm not worried about tight end and everything else, but I think that you need a game-changing tight end. So we'll have to wait and see where we go with that. But as always, friends, it's quiet right now, but it's going to be crazy in Dallas. We're going to be live streaming Wednesday night from Maverick Bar, Mike Fisher's bar, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock Central Time. So be sure to tune in to check that out. It'll be a special pre-draft edition and things, and we're going to have a great time. Wow. I can't believe it. We've been talking about this forever, and it's finally just about here. Hope we're ready for it. Hope you guys are ready for us. I'm Mark Holmes. This is Cowboy Jobu, and we'll be seeing you guys on the road soon.
Hello, friends. Cowboy Jobu here with an unsolicited opinion on the Jobu wings. You were saying about the wings?
The wings are the best I've ever had. Hands down. Awesome.
Okay, well, we've been passing out our recipe. If you actually look on our YouTube channel, we have all the recipes for all this stuff on here.
With the women, with the ladies.
You know that. Okay, slide in a little bit here. Okay, all right, so on 3, James, get in there, man. Okay, we're gonna do How About Them Cowboys, okay? All right, everybody, on 3, How About Them Cowboys? 1, 2, 3.